Today, we are going to talk about the top 40 best sounding lawnmowers. Just kidding, that would be an entire video about Ricer Civics. Number 1! Ferrari Enzo, the car that honors arguably one of the most important entrepreneurs in car history. Enzo Ferrari, the founder of Scuderia Ferrari. This car really honored him well. The 2000s Ferrari flagship with a 6-liter V12 and 650 horsepower that is an Italian-tuned orchestra especially tailored for pasta lovers. Number 2. Bugatti Chiron. We are going to start it on a good note. The W16 engine quad turbocharged. It's basically two V8s combined that produce a monstrous 1500 horsepower. It's just a crazy number that sounds like you woke up hell. Lamborghini Murcielago. This car might have the largest hips ever made, and it needed so because you have to have space to fit that gorgeous sounding 6.5 liter V12. Yes, you heard me right. 6.5 liters. You can make 6 small European cars out of one Murcielago engine. Number 4. Apollo IE. Launched with the crazy color combination, is a car that if you see, you think it is out of this world. But that's just the wonders of Italian design. You might never hear the sound of this godly 6.3 liter V12 in person, but if you ever do hear it, I assure you that you will go, "Oh my god, mommy, I want one, please, please." Number 5. Jaguar F-Type SVR, the first V8 on the list, and boy did we choose a great car. A rumbling engine that's supercharged and has some of the best crackles.
Number 6.
Mercedes-Benz Slr Mclaren. When Mercedes and McLaren built this Grand touring supercar, made it sound just like a vintage racing car. And there's nothing we like the most than a mean-sounding car. Number 7. Dodge Challenger Demon SRT. This car is literally how a modern V8 supercharged muscle car should sound. And if you were tired of hearing your girlfriend complaining, just buy Demon so you can hear the supercharger whining instead. Number 8. Ferrari 599 GTO. The GTO is not the unobtainable mid-engine supercar legend, but with the 6-liter V12, it is definitely one of the best sounding cars in the world. Do you want to be a legend and have the unobtainable? No, not a Ferrari, but you can have 6 times the pleb amount of movies and TV shows on Netflix by using ExpressVPN. You can thank me by subscribing and hitting that like button. Join the legends, leave the plebs. Number 9. The Lamborghini Gallardo. The Murcielago's younger brother. It has a V10 that's not missing the big brother's 2 more cylinders. But the Gallardo with a straight pipe exhaust is absolutely bonkers. Perfect if you want to get pulled over and get a ticket due to the sound. Worth it! Number 10. Brm V16. Yes, 16 cylinders. Designed in 1947 with basically what is 2 V8s put together that makes an engine able to rev to be more than 12,000 RPM. Imagine that sound. Ugh, just perfect. Number 11. Audi Quattro Group B. The Group B rally cars are just legendary, and the Audi is definitely the wildest. Thanks to the super aggressive anti-lag system and that crazy turbo sound, zun zun zun, this is one of the best sounding cars ever made. Number 12. Ferrari Fxxk. The track-only Fxxk is only for the top buyers of Ferrari. The ones like you and me who own dozens of Italian cars, a few Enzos who go to the grocery store in our LaFerrari. Nothing that special. This hybrid monster has an electric engine with 188 horsepower and a naturally aspirated V12 with 848 horsepower that combined have 1,036 horsepower. Just let that sink in.
Number 13.
Bmw M5 E60. Imagine you're driving along in your E60 M5 and then a normie looks at you and says, just an old 5 Series. You just look at him with a slight smirk and just press the gas of that beautifully sounding 5-liter V10. With this car, you just don't need words. 14. Chevrolet Corvette C7r. The growling V8 monster that achieved 2 GTLM drivers in a Constructors' Championships. Just a race car that offers performance in a sweet sounding engine. 15. Lamborghini Diablo. We all know how the 90s were. Mirrors were used in a different way, wild proportions, and crazy powerful V12 engines. The perfect mix to get a visceral sounding car. 16. Maserati Gran Turismo. It doesn't matter if Maserati made extremely unreliable cars because this Ferrari-derived V8 engine, we all know what that produces. No, not great pizza. I mean, maybe. Well, it makes a great sounding car. 17. You know that Elon Musk, after selling PayPal, bought an F1? Yeah, and then completely wrecked it, and right before he did, he just said, "Watch this." Famous last words. As you can see, it is one of the most sought-after cars from wealthy businessmen, the 6.1-liter V12 sourced from BMW. It is a legendary car because of its sound, power, and handling. 18. Porsche 911 GT3. The naturally aspirated version of the GT Porsches is a race car for the road. The 991.2 is a modern 4-liter that revs to 9,000 RPM and doesn't have VTEC. That makes it perfect. 19. Mercedes SLS AMG Black Series. This car has gull-wing doors, great performance, and a naturally aspirated 6.2-liter V8 engine that just sounds like a monster who has a drinking problem. 20. Porsche Carrera GT. Also known as the Widowmaker. We all know why, but no matter what, I bet you would love to hear that screamy V10 that makes any driver wanting to press the gas even more. 21. Ford Mustang Shelby GT 350R. You might say the GT 500 is better. That's subjective, but you know what? The 350R sounds way better. It is one of the highest revving American muscle, making it an under 4-second car to 60 miles per hour. 22. Aston Martin Vulcan. 800 horsepower, 7-liter V12. Do I need to say more? Okay, I will anyway. This is a modern hypercar. The rear wing, you can have a small dinner on it while someone revs that loud, straight, piped engine. 23. Lexus Lfa, the best sounding car ever, said by many car journalists when first testing this car. This Japanese naturally aspirated precision machine with a 4.9-liter V10 tuned by Yamaha just to get that perfect sound. 24. Pagani Zonda Revolucion. For many, Pagani is a piece of art. The attention to detail is outstanding. Combining the Italian design with German engineering with the 6-liter AMG engine tuned up to nearly 800 horsepower. The sweet spot. 25. Ferrari F50. The brand's flagship model in the late 90s has a 6-speed manual transmission and a V12 engine derived from the 1990 Ferrari 641 Formula 1 car. Yes, basically an F1 car for the road. Imagine how good the F50 sounds. 26. Toyota Supra. This car was popularized by the Fast and the Furious, and it's become one of the most iconic Japanese cars ever. The 2JZ Turbo can be tuned to more than 1,000 horsepower while having a sweet turbo sound. 27. Nissan Gtr. I bet you love this car. Might because of its racing history or because of the Fast and the Furious franchise. The nickname Godzilla had many iterations. Whether you like the R35 or the oldest ones, the GTR is as iconic as the Supra, and just like it, you can tune it to crazy numbers while still getting that crazy sounding engine. 28! Range Rover Sport SVR. Yes, I know, it is an SUV, but if you don't know this car, it would definitely gap you in a drag race. In comfort while you would be crying your 99 Civic with the useless spoiler. This car has a 5-liter supercharged V8 producing 575 horsepower. 29. Audi R8 Performance. The car known as the soccer player's daily drive, the R8 has a V10 engine with 602 stallions ready to win every single drag race with the help of the Audi's Quattro. Using the same platform as the Huracan, and we all know how those engines sound when straight piped. Ferrari F12, the perfect car to take your mistress on a drive on the French Riviera, or you can just enjoy it in comfort and being able to gap everyone you might see while leaving them hearing the 6.3-liter V12 engine that resembles an F1 car. 31! Mazda Rx7, the impossible to maintain that everyone still wants just because it's arguably the best rotary engine car ever made. Dorito-shaped engine that resonates like an electric toothbrush, a car sound that is recognizable miles away. 32. Veloster N, the small front-wheel drive car that many claim is the best-sounding pocket rocket ever. With the turbocharged 2-liter engine with 275 horsepower, this hatchback is great fun to drive in the mountains, and you don't need to upgrade the exhaust to get pops and bangs. You get that stock. 43. Subaru WRX STI. Subaru Technica International is the motorsports division, so basically this car is rally ready, and who would like to have a race car? The rumble of the Boxer engine that makes a 4-wheel drive car a great sounding car that has some great racing heritage. 34. Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution. Just like the Subaru, the rally heritage is present with the Mitsubishi, and if you ever heard any Evo with anti-lag, you will know how good they sound. 35. Mercedes C63S AMG Black Series. With only 800 cars produced, you might never have heard one, but for those who have, you know how brutal and bassy this 6.3-liter monster sounds. 36. McLaren 720S Spider. Arguably one of the fastest supercars produced in the modern era. McLaren has been making on the best cars release after release, even not publishing lap times because it's probably faster than the P1 flagship when the 720 was released. It is a modern supercar that is known for being the quickest and has the best handling and sound. 37. The Fiat 500 Abarth. Small, agile, and quick. This small pocket rocket brings you the front-wheel drive platform. The small 1.4-liter also produces 160 horsepower, but also gives you a great sounding exhaust system. 38. Shelby Cobra 427, the most expensive car on this list with a whopping price tag of $5 million. Price due to the history and the low amount of examples. It has a 7-liter V8 that has a drinking problem. If you ever see one, it is probably a replica, but if you're one of the lucky few, you might need to chip in for gas money. 39. The Koenigsegg Jesko. Introduced at the Geneva Motor Show in 2019, it is the Agera successor and one of the fastest cars in the world with a twin turbocharged 5-liter V8 and a 9-speed Koenigsegg LST multi-clutch. If you ever get the chance to hear or even see one in person, you can go and steal the keys because I know I would. Just kidding. Please don't do it. It's not worth it. It only costs $3 million. 40. The Aston Martin V12 Vantage. This car has an ear-piercing 6-liter V12 that generates 565 classy ponies. You're able to go on a lovely cruise on the British country roads while revving your way to almost 7,000 RPMs. That is indeed lovely. If you want to sleep well at night and dream of driving the Chiron at 300 miles per hour, you should like and subscribe to our channel. Otherwise, you'll have nightmares of being surrounded by riced out Civics. With that said, thank you for watching, and love ya!